Yep, I'm looking forward to it. And I need to get another one of these.
The mics.
Yeah. Come on, damn it. All right, that should do it. Um, yeah, I wanna just lay it all out there. At least, thank you, airplane, for at least what we can. There's so
Son of
much
a.
shit on her, and it's like I think it gets touched on, but I want to just get into everything that we can, and I think it's time. You know,
Agreed.
let me do a little intro, and we'll start this. Um,
Sounds good to me.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Mercury's Cast. I'm your host, Travis Montgomery. Today is episode 26. We are in full election. It's October now. The next president will be decided, within the next 6 weeks or so. And but before we go any further on that, let's send back to the program. How's your work life and home life treating you, Darren?
Oh, work life is good, I guess. It's keeping me busy. Days go by fast. Uh, Home life is good. Getting married one of these days. We don't have a date set, but we're engaged and I don't know, messing around, doing our camping, and I've gotten into photography here lately. And that
Nice.
seems to be sucking up some money. Jesus.
All the toys that suck up money.
Yeah, you get a decent camera. I've always had the point and shoots and yada yada over the years, and I finally ponied up and got a good camera. And now I got to buy all the shit for it. I got to get the cool lens. I got to get the freaking diffuser for the flash. I got to get this. I got to get fuck.
It's important.
Yeah,
And then you got to start learning some software at some point so you could do
yeah.
some minor
Actually,
editing
I,
at least, right?
well, I full on got Adobe Lightroom, and that's I don't know if you've heard of it. It's not Photoshop. It's actual Lightroom is basically a modern day dark room. You develop your own pictures digitally. So it's not like editing.
Cool.
You actually mess with the lights and all that stuff in there. I don't know. I'm tripping out on it.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I took photography when I was in high school for years. And yeah, it's just crazy. It's just to show you how far technology has come. We don't need an actual light room anymore.
Right.
All we need is all of our digital. So there's some more toys sucking up some more money. You gone on any trips in the past 2 weeks since we've talked, or have anything coming up that is more exciting
I
than
haven't
living in?
gone. I haven't gone. I'm going out. We're doing. I got something set up with the Jeep Club, or well, it's not a Jeep Club anymore. It's a full four wheel drive club. So anybody 4-wheel drive welcome. We're going to Cougar Buttes out in Johnson Valley area, camping out there for the weekend and playing around.
Cougar Buttes.
Yeah,
It sounds like white people country.
it pretty much. It's out in the middle of the desert, a bunch of rocks around you and campfires. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised when I moved to Bakersfield because I've always lived in like Artesia or even Cypress or Kennedy is a little more diverse than it is out here in Bakersfield, especially where I live. where there's actually a lot of poor white people and people won't tell you that that exists. But if you look up Oildale, California, it's very poor. I don't know the reason why. I haven't been out here long enough, but it's it's just a trip. And the homeless out here and the poor out here in Bakersfield, for whatever reason it may be, it's not because there is a heavy group of poor black people in a certain area, but there's a lot of homeless, a
Yeah.
ton of homeless people. Like per capita, I would say it's worse than where we come from. Because the cops kind of don't let that shit happen where we come from, but out here. And then the thing I'll say about the homeless people out here is that I don't feel like criminally threatened when they approach me for money or whatever. And I give everyone money. I'm just a sucker when it comes to that. But the homeless people out here, whether they're black or Mexican or I mean mostly white, clearly on meth most of the time. Clearly on meth.
Yep.
I don't, whatever they got it for whatever reason they're on meth, but I don't feel like that criminal element, like I'm in danger or so. It's weird. It's way different than being in LA or Orange County when you're in a poor area and you see homeless people. I don't know why, but that's just the vibe out here.
Yeah. Oh, it's gotten really bad here too. The corner
Yeah, I
I've
think
lived
it's
in.
getting worse, isn't it? Maybe
Oh,
everywhere.
dude, it's getting horrible where I'm at compared to where I grew up with as a kid, and I still live in the same area. And now in the same corner, I used to go mess around. Dude, they're all over the damn place.
Yep.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I noticed when I come back into town, just from the freeways like the 605 in Carson right there in Lincoln. Like
Mm-hmm.
they've got a whole tent area
Oh
set
yeah.
up right there, and
Oh
down the
yeah.
whole 710, down the entire stretch of the 710, it's just tents.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah. Whole nother topic. Maybe we could dive into that. I think more should be done about that. Maybe relocating some of our taxpayer money. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Been doing nothing but that, and as far as I'm concerned, it's increased.
Huh.
We've been doing that for 8 years. Think about it. 8 years ago, was that many people around doing that stuff? No. Look at today. And all we've been doing is shelling out money, shelling out money, shelling out money. Well, what happens when you feed the bears? The bears come back and they keep where the food is. There's no incentive for them to go to work. Why go to work when the government's paying you $2,000, $3,000, whatever a month in welfare some way? When you can just do that, smoke your meth, go turn your check in, go burn it all up on the little amount of food you need, sleep under a box, and still go back and get to that ATM with the little government stamp on it.
Well, that's kind of the reason they came up with food stamps, so people won't spend all their. Well, maybe that's not the reason, but it's a good idea for people that are strung out on drugs or alcoholics that they can't buy that shit with the government money that they're given.
Yeah, that's how it used to be. That's not how it is anymore. They got cash ATMs for EBT cards where you can take your EBT card, put it in the damn machine, and they'll spit out cash. They're all over the place. I saw one the other day. Oh, I was coming home from somewhere. I was coming down beach. I forget the exact cross street, but it was at a gas station, and outside of the gas station, it's an EBT cash machine. And I was like, you have to be shitting me. So you get your EBT cards, you go in there, pull your cash out, and you go get your dope, your beer, whatever, all the stuff you're not supposed to be doing. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's I mean, we can't expect everyone to be a model American, right? You're
Oh,
gonna
no.
have you're gonna have and especially the more people we get, the more needy people. I guess we just be nice and call them needy. They need the government to basically provide for their basic needs in life. There's going to be more of those people the more people that we have come here.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. It's big. People. I look at the perspective a little differently than most. I don't know. I look at. I take the countries out of it. I take the politics out of it, and I look at basically Mother Nature being a giant assembly line spitting out human beings. And well, when you spit out a bunch of products, 10 out of 1,000 are going to be bad. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, it's kind of the same argument I've been using. Sorry for the helicopter. Apparently, we're being watched by the government now.
Probably.
I use the same argument for when Democrats try and argue for gun control when some crazy shoots up a school or a mall or whatever it is. They're mentally ill. When you have 350 million people in one area, there's going to be a number of people that have a crazy mental illness that have the capability of pulling something like that off. And that being said, Sharia law and being a devout Muslim to Sharia law, I kind of think is a mental illness and falls in the same category, but we can easily spot those people out.
Yeah, kinda. I don't know. I don't know if that Sharia law thing is. I can see where you're coming from on the mental illness, but most of that is just boldly ignorance. Those people are taught, and they live in a country that's just continuously taught that and thrown at them, and they preach that from the time they're kids, and they don't know any better. They don't know, and so they kind of adapt to it because they're around it naturally, and that's just they're brought up that way, and that's the way they carry it over. Now, if you want to talk about diseases and things like that, I'm just going to boldly say liberalism.
You think
That
it's a
that is a
disease?
freaking mental illness. Yeah, look at Hillary Clinton. That's a freaking mental illness. Mental illness. It's a walking. I don't even know how to explain it. That woman opens her mouth and she's like, "Holy crap!"
Well, if she were to have a mental illness, I would kind of define it as some kind of power hungry
It's
mental.
it's, it's liberalism. Like you're just doing the whole gun control thing. They don't understand. Okay, so like you mentioned, a whack job goes out and shoots up some people. It happens. It's a defective product. 9 out of 10 of those times, that gun was purchased illegally, so no gun law that you would have put in there to begin with would have freaking done anything. They got it illegally. They got it from out of country. They got it from a backdoor drug dealer, gun dealer, whatever. Some gangster stole it out of the house. 9 out of 10 times that happens. There are the occasion where, holy crap, this guy bought it, but he slipped through the cracks. But I mean, nothing is ever 100%. And these people literally think and believe that, the more gun laws you put in, the less this stuff is gonna happen. Well, they've been putting in gun laws, and it's kind of increasing. So it makes it harder for normal people to get them, and the criminals are still going to get them. And they think that putting in laws that all of a sudden that the criminality is removed out of it. A criminal is going to find a way around the law. Period. That's what they do. That's why they're a criminal. And then they
Right.
actually believe that doing that stuff, despite all evidence showing the complete opposite, and right in front of their face, day after day after day after day, and they still want to force it on. And it's a disease, man. These people are broken, straight up.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. As liberalism is man, it's becoming more and more frustrating for me to because I'm a guy that tries to see both sides of any issue, but when we're getting this kind of stuff thrown in our face that doesn't make any sense at all, not logically, it's pretty frustrating to have a conversation about the topics when you just get thrown back all these emotional statements, and they're not really tied into reality. And good luck trying to get through to these people because they don't want to see the other side of the fence at all. I mean,
no, and that's
there's one holy truth, and that is whatever MSNBC or these leftist news publications, whatever they say, and that's it. And there is no consideration for anything else because that is, I mean, it's crazy that there's no consideration for anything else.
yeah. It's the reason I say the mental illness part or disease and liberalism is we are not seeing your standard Democrat nowadays. You're not seeing a John F. Kennedy Democrat. You're not seeing, these type of people. You're seeing full, bold-faced Marxism, socialism, full-on left statism going on that they're trying to go for full control. And these people will sit there and look at these lies, look at the corruption dead in the face, and overtake their values and throw them under the freaking bus to impose their will of government control on everybody at all costs. And half these people, I don't even think they're that stupid. You know damn well, people know damn well Hillary Clinton lies, and people know damn well she does this, she steals, she's, with the whole Bill Clinton thing and pushing the women under the bus and all that stuff. They know it. They're not stupid, and they don't care. That's the problem.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to get in some Hillary Clinton. I want to spend a good portion of time on her and just talk about what kind of a human being she is. Excuse me, and what she has done as far as her track record, which is not good at all. But so first off, did you watch the vice presidential candidate or the debate last night?
Yes, sir. Word for word on C-SPAN.
You did.
Yep. I don't watch it on news networks really. I just C-SPAN because they just zoom in. They have the candidates there. There's nothing else going on. They don't have any runners going across the bottom of the screen, and there's no input going on in the back of your ear. You just watch what the candidates say. Or listen.
Okay. So how did it all go down? What do you think?
Pence made me want to vote for him for president and throw freaking Donald Trump out the back door.
Really?
Oh yeah. Well, I knew that to begin with. Pence is a pretty, I wouldn't say 100. I'm all conservative. I wouldn't say Pence is 100% conservative as I like, but he's up in the 90ish range. He's very, very strong with his principles. And if you look at the difference between him and Donald Trump when the man was speaking, with Pence, he was calm, he was cool, he was collective, he was talking about, the ideas and the process behind it and what the results are and believing in freedom and opening up people to have more opportunity, and with the taxes, about lowering taxes, and when somebody has more money in their pocket, they can spend more money, which creates more jobs, just like an employer. You can't take money from an employer. You take money from an employer, he has less money to pay his employees. He has less money to give his employees a raise. He has less money to hire a new person. He has less money to expand his business, to hire more people and create more product, to where other people that are paying people can come buy his product. Trump can't articulate that. Pence can. And when you look at this debate, he was calm, cool, collective, and just spit it out as a true conservative. And there was no arguing with any of his points. And if you turn around after all the results and stuff come in, even Democrats across the board are going, wow, this guy was awesome. And it's not because, Pence is so some superhero. He has conservative principles, and conservative principles win.
Huh. Well, very, very well said. Yeah, I am a conservative at heart. and kind of bounce back with a libertarian idea. But Gary Johnson is just, I mean, I like what the party stands for, but he's catching a lot of flack lately. I've heard that you've been pretty critical on Gary Johnson too.
I love libertarians. The only problem is not Gary Johnson. He's not a libertarian. He's a straight up phony. He's pretty much, in my opinion, like Donald Trump coming into the Republican Party. That man ain't no Republican. He's a rhino. He's not a Republican. Gary Johnson is the same way. In my eyes, as far as a libertarian goes, which is a man who I totally respect, Rand Paul. You want to go straight down the board, libertarian, that by straight up, dude. That guy is awesome. I'm a Ted Cruz guy. I'm a hardcore conservative. The libertarians are a little bit more lenient on the drugs, and they're a little bit more isolated as far as foreign policy. But as far as conservative values on the Constitution, small government, and all that stuff, it lines up with me a lot. And Gary Johnson just is not even close to that. He's got a freaking vice presidential candidate that thinks military rifles are issued, and the ones that we're getting on the streets have six shells in them. First of all, they don't have shells, they have rounds. And if they don't come with 6, they're a minimum of 10. Me as a citizen, I can come in and get a 10. The guy had obviously never shot a gun in his life, and here he is talking about expanding gun control, and then on the no-fly list, and this, that, and the other, which is fine. I get the whole no-fly list. But the problem with the whole no-fly list is that no-fly list has to be fixed before you can impose those laws onto everybody else. There's people on there that don't belong on there, innocent people.
Well, and then weren't they trying to put gun owners on certain type of gun owners on a no-fly list, and who dictates these no-fly lists? It seems like that was starting to go down a very slippery slope.
Oh yeah, for sure. The idea is good, but the problem is that it needs to be fixed before it gets put in. You can't go putting people on, oh, you can't buy a gun, you're on a no-fly list. How did I get on the no-fly list? Oh, you had a typo in your name, so it got confused with somebody else. Okay, so you're going to deny my right to buy a freaking firearm? I don't think so. That's wrong. You deny my right to get a firearm, and then what happens? Somebody breaks into my house the next night, and I get shot, or my family gets shot, or my daughter gets raped, or whatever goes on, and you, the government, denied my right because of a freaking typo because you guys don't know what's going on. That is wrong.
And it's not like even stricter gun laws are going to prevent people from using guns. The criminal element is still going to be there, like you said.
Absolutely.
Now, I'm unable to defend my family because you've outlawed firearms, in my home, and the criminals are always going to have them.
Yep.
Alcohol didn't disappear when Prohibition started. It actually got more popular.
Perfect example. I hate to talk about the woman. I just can't stand this family and what they do. Kim Kardashian got robbed at gunpoint in Paris, where in France, the whole damn country, there is no guns allowed in there, period. She got robbed at gunpoint. Gee, how'd that happen? How'd that guy come across the gun?
I'm guessing that's the first and last time I will ever hear you say her name.
Yeah, it sucks, but I really do not like them. I'm sorry.
I don't. You know what? And I think even talking about them just makes it, even if you're talking shit on them, it just makes everything worse.
It does. They have done nothing. Nothing. All they have done has been, oh, hey, I'm on a reality TV. What have they accomplished? Nothing. And I'm done with them. I'm not going to even bring up their name.
They cry and they have tits and ass, and that's about it. Anyways,
yeah, whatever. She can cry more about that $10 million jewelry that got robbed from earlier today.
You know what? I don't know who believes in karma, or if they have any at all. But
right.
So So quick wrap up, because since you watched it, Pence, you think won the VP debate?
Hands down, without even a question.
I heard he was getting interrupted a lot, which is a good sign of of doing good.
Well, I don't know if that was doing good. I mean, he just went up there and did his thing, man. He said what he believed. He spoke from his heart and did his deal. Now, I don't know if that was just Tim Kaine being an ass, or if it was a perfect strategy for what they were trying to do. Because every time Pence was making a good point that they really had nothing on, he would straight up just interrupt. That's all he did. That was his strategy. I don't think that was necessarily an accident or him just being an ass. I think that was done purposefully.
Well,
Because
and
they know Pence can speak a hell of a lot better than Trump can.
Pence seems like and I don't know that much about him, but he seems like he might have been the best candidate that we have out of the four if Hillary kicks the bucket, which could be possible.
In my opinion, I would agree with you. There is what we have, but I'm a Ted Cruz guy through and through. Ain't nobody gonna change my mind on that. But
right on, yeah, there's
unfortunately I don't have him, or we don't have him, so I'm stuck with Trump.
What do you like about Ted Cruz? I mean, he's got a crazy immigration policy.
That's crazy.
Well, I mean, not crazy as like he's a lunatic. Crazy as in today's standards. Didn't he want to deport people, or am I wrong
No,
here?
no, he simply wants to enforce the current immigration laws we have, plain and simple.
So you can't hire any illegals in.
Right? No,
None.
you got too many Americans out of work, American citizens that are Hispanic out of work, and are American citizens that do not have jobs, that need jobs before these illegal Hispanics come in.
It's true.
Chinese or whatever. These people talk about, oh, illegal, illegal, illegal. They automatically think Mexican. You know what? We have a lot of Mexican American citizens, Chinese American citizens, all these kind of citizens that need jobs before these legal immigrants do. And it pisses me off when people go, oh, you don't like Mexicans. No, that's not the truth. That's not at all. That's not that not even close. But
Right.
That's the way they want to paint it, because that's the only argument they have. And if you think about what's going on here with this system, you got Hillary Clinton and liberalism, and this has been going on since Obama, and this is the whole thing when I was talking to you about Marxism and what they're doing. You have this influx. I was reading and listening to Mark Levin, and also read the same article. He was pointing off the increase of immigration between Syria, Iraq, like 5 or 6 different countries within there, and they're up 25, 30, 40% immigration from them. And where are they putting these people? Michigan, Kentucky. They're trying to get them into Texas. All the states that are red is where they're pushing them. Why? Because they're trying to turn those states blue for political gain. It's a bunch of crap. It's pissing me off. And people don't see it, and they don't realize what's going on.
Correct. There's not enough jobs to go around, like you just said. We're running out of room, and we might be running out of time. What do you think about so we can implement the immigration laws that we have here, but stronger visa work programs for people that want to come in? And I mean, if you want to just go full conservative, all the jobs that Americans claim that they don't want done, which how did we get here if no one ever did those jobs in the first place?
That's a lie.
We have enough illegal people here to do those jobs. We don't need any more to do them.
Well, the thing is that's they try and paint that as well too. And when you look at it, you sit back and do the studies, and they talk about, only the illegal immigrants will pick tomatoes, wash cars, be maids, do all this stuff. Wrong. A lot of them are Hispanic, but the vast majority of them are American citizens.
Well, if because of anchor babies.
I don't know. Maybe. Could be. I haven't looked that far into it, but I do know from the Census Bureau, Bureau of Labor Statistics, all that stuff, that the majority of them, we're talking 65, 70, 75%, are American citizens. And people think, oh, the guy working out in the field, there's a good chance, more of a chance that that person is an American citizen than he is an illegal immigrant.
Right. But due to the anchor baby, which I can't. I mean, who's to argue that? Who's to argue that one? That one's a kind of a hard one to argue. It wasn't 15 years ago, but it's.
That's clearly what they do, and they take advantage of it. They come up here to have a baby. When that baby's here, it's a natural born citizen or whatever, naturalized citizen, however they call it. And then with the new laws that have been implemented, that now allows them to bring their whole darn family in, because now they have an American citizen baby and they can come in. The problem we're really having is the major problem is like we were talking about with Ted Cruz and that visa thing. The majority of the problem is the overstay on visas. They come in, they get in, oh yeah, I'm here on a visa, and then they don't come report back, and they don't do their updates and all that stuff, and now they just run around. That's not right.
Right, but the problem could lie within there's not enough visas, because the work's being overtaken by people that are here illegally. So therefore they can't hand out that many legal visas to support whatever workflow that they got going on. The main way, if someone wants to get serious on it, they have to start penalizing the employers for hiring them. That's if you want to get stern on it. And I think for a while that Obama was talking about doing that, like 6 years ago or some shit. Because I'm in the construction industry, and I remember a lot of people started freaking out, and that was around the same time that they were supposed to go around making sure every electrician on every job site was a licensed electrician. I think this was like right after the recession. Like
Excellent.
People started getting serious about it.
Yeah, they should. Actually, that's just a law that has been overlooked. That's a law we have. It needs to be enforced, period. But when you have people like Obama and Hillary saying, oh no, look the other way, you know, they have handcuffed and tied these hands, or tied, you know, these agents' hands behind their back, to where, you know, they can't go do anything about it. They can't go search these people out. They can't, you know, they know there's 20 guys on that job site that are illegal. Oh no, please, you can't do that. What are you talking about? It is the law. We have to enforce it. They're gone. We have, was it 56 or 58 million American citizens out of the labor force? There's no excuse to be having and letting these illegal immigrants in. We have 54 million people we need to take care of our own citizens first.
Yeah, and you know what? There's, Australia ain't having that shit. Norway ain't having that shit.
Nope.
Finland. There's a lot of countries in Europe that are more lenient on immigration issues.
And look at them.
And it's sad, because I mean, I see a dead Syrian kid, and fuck, that strikes my emotion. But at the same time, it's too crazy of a situation to try and boil it down to one little instance. It's fucked up, man, and it's we never even got to talk about Muslims in America on the last one, which I wanted to, because of the mall shooter, and I think there was another one that happened pretty quick around there.
I think it was 3 in that one weekend. One was an attempted bombing. One was a mall shooter, and the other one was a stabbing, a mass stabbing, like 9 people.
Right, and so we're lost in this election season is all the numbers of these immigrants that are coming in, because apparently they're coming in and they're here.
Oh yeah, Obama's been hiding.
It's not going report. It's not being reported. It's
no.
Go ahead.
Well, there was a report the other day where they have who was it? somebody exposed them for keeping the information under wraps. I was curious. Yeah, they got busted the other day for not presenting the full statistics game. I'm trying to figure it out here. Forgive me.
And there is. You can go ahead, keep looking. There is an interview process. It's not like it's a free for all, and they just group people up and put them on a plane and bring them here. There is a kind of a, I guess, selection process involved with trying to weed out the extremists. But then still, if you're trained to be an extremist, you're trained to get through these situations. And there's a lot of even conservatives, libertarians too, that want to take people in, but then it still goes into so we don't have enough jobs for the illegal people coming in from South America. So now we're going to bring in people from the Middle East, and how are we supposed to provide for them now? It's like being on welfare. It's like being on welfare and having a part-time job, and then having 5 more kids at once. Maybe, I don't know if it's a bad analogy,
Right.
but where are these resources going to come from? And if we're going to start taking in the world's like oppressed.
You and me, man. You and me and the people reading and watching and listening to this show. That's who's going to pay for it. They're taking food and money and shoes off of your kids' feet. Is what they're doing. They're taxing you, taking that extra dime, extra 50 cents, and it keeps going more than 50 cents to $1 to $1.50 to $2. They're taking that right off your kids' feet, man.
It's crazy, man. I think they just upped the taxes very recently, and I didn't even hear anything about it. Like, I went to Del Taco the other day to get food for the whole family because we're running a home business. We don't have time to cook and stuff like that.
Right.
And it was like the normal meal I got was like a couple bucks more, but it should have been. I was scratching my head. I was like, what? Did I order wrong or something? But it's just, I think the tax is going up on everything.
Well, there's taxes on certain foods and stuff that are going up too with these limitations that this administration is sneaking in. You know, I don't know exactly what you're talking about, like on taxes, but I do know that they've been hitting the food industry hard on stuff like that because they're deeming, they think you're stupid, basically. You can't make a decision for yourself on what you're going to eat, and it's bad for you. So we're going to tax your big gulp. We're gonna put more tax on this. We're gonna put more tax on that, and that's what's happening. They have certain foods that we were discussing that the other day where we went, and it was we're talking about Oreos, and I know went down to Mexico and this, that, and the other, but Oreos aren't the same as what they used to be when we were kids, man. You know, you used to put an Oreo in milk. You put it in there just for like a second. That thing would fall apart and be all mushy. Do you put it in there now? You got to leave it in there for like 15 minutes before it even starts getting soft. And they've changed things and different things and when they're regulating it, they're increasing the money on the back end for tax and stuff like that. It's ridiculous.
Right. They probably put some fucking cardboard particle in there or something.
Some shit, I don't know. It's coming out of this damn Monsanto's cat's asshole or something.
Monsanto, man, we could do a whole freaking episode on them. I remember when McDonald's used to be good. I can't eat that shit anymore. It makes me not feel good. I remember as a kid that used to be like, 25 years ago, McDonald's had good food.
Yeah, I eat wherever, man. I mean, I don't eat McDonald's often, but every once in a while I gotta go. You can't beat McDonald's French fries, man.
The French fries are good. The apple pie is
Yeah,
pretty good.
yeah, but occasionally be like, most of the time I drive around by McDonald's. I don't want nothing to do with it because you're right, it's gotten funky over the years. But
Well,
I just eat whatever.
I ate it like on an empty stomach, maybe after a couple beers, 2 times in a row, and then it felt like I just had like a big old stone in my stomach. And I
Yeah,
was like, all right, this does not feel good. Del Taco is my uh, drug of choice when it comes to fast food.
but
I love Del
yeah.
Taco. Man, I've eaten that 2 meals in a day before.
Oh yeah, for
Anyways,
sure.
all right. So we didn't talk last week, and I wanted to, but we didn't get to it. Quick thoughts on the presidential debate. I thought Trump came out good in the beginning. He was solid. I thought towards the end, Hillary started getting the upper hand. He, I mean, from a public perspective, just generally trying to be non-biased, when he was going after her in the beginning, he sounded great. I thought he was like smashing her, and then towards the end, she was coming back, and it wasn't even great points. They just sounded good. Uh, you have anything to
Well,
say about that?
I was disappointed, but I wasn't. My expectations for Trump were not that high to begin with because everybody's talking about and they're using the phrase "he's not a polished politician," which is true. And if you think about Trump versus, I was very disappointed in Trump's performance. Um, but you're talking about Hillary Clinton here, that's been in politics for 30 whatever years. She's rehearsed. She's got her lines memorized. She's got these people in her ear. Hey, say this when he says that. Her quick zingers. It's all scripted. It's all robotics. That's all it is. She doesn't even know what the hell she's saying. She just hears keywords. Oh, he said taxes. Blah, 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 blah. She rolls out a freaking line that somebody else told her to say, and she thinks it's good, and the crowd goes nuts. Woohoo! Yeah, shit. Um, where Trump, I was not expecting him to be like that. I was expecting Trump to be Trump and be kind of like I am when I speak. I'm not a very good speaker. Bouncing around a little bit, but still trying to get his point across. But Trump just did not attack Hillary with all the ammo in the world he was set up with and just folded over. And it was really disappointing. I don't understand why he didn't hammer her. She tried going at him on the taxes. I don't understand why he didn't hammer her on that because she did the same damn thing. She tried all the foreign policy, all this stuff. And he just left the door wide open and he didn't go in and shut it. It was like, you really missed that opportunity? Like, holy crap. Then he explains later, oh, I was just trying to be soft because, Chelsea was in the audience. I didn't want to seem aggressive. Da, 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 da. Bullshit, Trump. Get your ass in there and hammer her. You're not here to play soft. You're here to win.
Right, and she definitely had prepared statements. He had notes too. He was looking down, but what struck me as odd was that when she was looking over at him, like I am, she was looking here, and then halfway during it, she started looking up at something, and she was getting like some kind of signs or some kind of. I think she had some kind of help. I'm not gonna say like go crazy deep into the conspiracies, but when I was watching it, I even told my wife, I'm like, she's she's looking somewhere else right now. She's not looking at Donald. She's looking up slightly above him, and she's getting some kind of help from someone. And not only that, while in the middle of her talking, she was looking down at stuff. So she had these talking points. Donald would look down before he would start talking, but not during the middle of a thought. And Hillary Clinton was. So oh, there's a lot of people saying that Hillary knew the questions beforehand
Most
and
likely.
had prepared statements, which so hopefully, and I know you're hoping for this, that it was a round one of a 3 round championship fight. You don't. you don't show all of your tools in the first round. So hopefully he starts hammering her on some of the stuff that I want to get into right now on Hillary Clinton, because I think it's about time that we spend some time on her. I think we've spent more time on this podcast, and Darren included, with other people included, on Donald Trump. I think the media seems to be spending more time on Donald Trump just because of who he is and how much controversy surrounds him. False accusations against him that he's racist, and which there's no solid evidence to back that up. Which is he's an old white guy. He's got to be racist, right?
Yep.
I mean, Jesus Christ.
He's an old white guy that wants to build a wall. Oh my God, he's a racist. He wants to go freaking kill everybody that's not white.
Yeah, and
that's
it's a lot of
the liberal line.
It's a lot of the black people that are calling him racist. If anyone can call him racist, it should be Mexicans. But that's even a policy issue. It's not. He hates Mexicans. It's a policy. It's an American first way of thinking. Not Mexicans are dirty and they smell and they fucking fart too much. I want them out of here. It's not that way. It's not that line of thinking. We have a problem here and we're trying to correct it.
Yep. That's all it is. Any rational, logical person thinks that or can see that.
Oh, but the Black Lives Matter. We didn't even get into this, but we'll have to save that one because we touched on that last time. There's a couple things I wanted to talk to you about. I think you're giving a little too much credit, but I want to stay the course with Hillary Clinton, presidential candidate. I mean, after putting all this stuff together, which we've all heard about the stuff that's going on, and then now, like after really reading about, I'm like, how is this even possible? Like, how did we get to this point where someone like this? All right, first off, she started her campaign with 2 FBI investigations going on at the same time. Like, does that ring any bells at all? Like two FBI investigations. Hello.
I'll refer back to my disease liberal comment earlier. Okay, go ahead.
And no one else sees that as a problem, which is crazy. Just run through Benghazi real quick. September 11, 2012. Supposedly it was a film that started this attack on a U.S. embassy in Libya. Why we have a U.S. embassy in Libya is a whole other argument, but we're fucking there. And with multiple requests for security, Chris Stevens, who was the ambassador, and diplomat Sean Smith, if you were to look at the Slate.com, which is the biggest leftist website out there right now, it's New York Slate. They said that these 2 gentlemen died of smoke inhalation, which we know not to be true. They were tortured. I saw photos, unless they were photoshopped. They look pretty damn real to me. They were pretty much tortured to death. Is that what you got from that?
Let's stop there for a second. So you got Slate saying that they died from smoke inhalation. Smoke inhalation from what?
They burned the fucking embassy down.
The RPGs, the mortars.
All it said, they burned that bitch down.
They killed them. Pretty much is what happened.
Yeah, but I saw some disturbing photos that I'm pretty sure they took Chris Stevens out of the embassy and they took him somewhere else and they tortured him. From what I remember.
I'm just pointing out the spin on what these liberal sites do. He died of smoke inhalation. Okay, so what if he did? How did that smoke inhalation occur? The fucking mortar that went through the wall and burned the place down and knocked him out and freaking caught on fire and burned him out. They attacked and killed him. They caused it, whether it was smoke inhalation or not. And then
So
you get these liberal sites who are like trying to dust it up. No, bullshit. They still killed him.
yeah, however you want to slice it. Although if that was my uncle, I wish he would have died via smoke inhalation and not some of the nasty things they do in the Middle East when they're torturing people. Like,
Right?
don't even want to go there. And from what the reports were, is that they asked for more security and was denied by the head of the State Department at the time, who was none other than Hillary Clinton. Not only that, Hillary lied to the parents and the family members of the people that were killed there, saying that it was because of a video when they damn well knew that it was a planned attack on the embassy on September 11th, 2012. You know,
Uh, a three-wave attack, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, one in the evening, with mortars, RPGs, and military assault rifles.
thank you very much.
With professional tactics. That wasn't a spontaneous freaking thing.
No, it wasn't like what was kind of going on in Egypt at that same day, which I think was just coincidence because of the video. They just tried to pin it on it. The final official report was that she failed to protect these people.
Yep.
That was the final verdict on the Benghazi, even though for whatever reason they couldn't technically charge her criminally. She just had, as Secretary of State, the head of the State Department, however you want to spin these damn words that they use in the government, she failed at her job. She absolutely failed. There's no question about that.
Her and Obama both failed at their job that night. They're both in correlation. Hillary was taking the heat because Obama's president. That's why she has the freaking emails. She knew they were doing stuff illegal. You can't trace it. That's why she had them all freaking deleted and all that crap. They knew what they were doing. And now there's reports of Obama even communicating with her on that damn server, knowing damn well she had it. So it goes much, much deeper than what we see on the surface. There's no reason for her to be conducting these kind of operations from our personal freaking server. As I pointed out with the waved attacks, and you said that they lied to the parents. She didn't just lie to the parents. She lied to the American people for like 6 weeks on every damn Sunday show when they sent out Susan Rice to go out on all these shows. It was a YouTube video. It was a YouTube video. It was a YouTube video. No, it wasn't. And you used that poor guy in Cerritos as a scapegoat for writing a bad check and show that you arrested somebody.
Right. Shout out to Cerritos, my hometown.
You're right. Well, they got there. I mean, the guy wrote a bad check, or actually, he wrote a bad check several years prior, and he was on probation, and they got him for writing that bad check because he's the one that actually made the YouTube video.
Right.
And so they twisted it and got him for that check. Like, how chicken shit is that?
Did you ever watch that video? It's the dumbest thing. I mean, it's the worst video fucking ever.
Well, dude, they did interviews, and everybody's like, we don't even know what the hell you're talking about with these damn freaking YouTube videos. Like, nobody had even seen it. There was like 150 people that had seen it throughout the entire world before it was removed. 150 people.
I remember watching it. It was just it reminded me of and I could be way off on my memory. That wouldn't be surprising, but
You
remember
probably saw it. But at the time when that thing went on, only 150 people had seen it.
Pulp Fiction, when they're showing that one cartoon where it's just a moving mouth and it's like a Japanese cartoon or whatever, and it's just the mouth that's moving. It was like stupid similar to that. I don't know. Anyway, so Benghazi, as much as the leftist media tries to cover it up, you just heard kind of what really happened. We're not state officials, so I mean, after a 2-year investigation, they concluded that she didn't do her job right. Now we want to elect her president. let's move on to.
Well,
You got something to say?
yeah, I'll skip all the crap and the mumble jumble about, oh, there's a possibility of this, there's a possibility of that, with all the spin on it. The fact is, she was Secretary of State. She dropped the ball. She needed to answer that damn phone call. That was her job, to answer that phone call at 3 a.m. and act and make something happen and save American lives. No matter what the circle is, that was her job, and she failed miserably. I'm done.
Well, she's, as head of State Department, you got to get your sleep, bro. You know, you got to get
Yeah,
that sleep so you could defend
no.
people or something.
Yeah, right. No, you get that freaking phone call. That is your job. That's what you signed up for.
Well, moving on to more egregious um, situations of her being ahead of the State Department. When the Clinton Foundation is accepting foreign donations from countries where they're supposed to be dealing with foreign policy. Okay, like dropping the ball on Benghazi might be one thing. Like, okay, she could have screwed up. But how do you. All right, so basically, without just going through all of my notes and just reading facts and stuff, she was basically going around as Secretary of State who's supposed to deal with foreign policy, international affairs, and stuff like that. And basically just cutting deals with governments to get donations to the Clinton Foundation is what it appears to be. I mean, she's even revealed some of the records that went down as Secretary of State. It's not like she's even trying to hide it.
Right. Well, she's trying to hide it. She's just trying to bury it with all the spin, with all of her little media freaking crones running around.
So,
How did Russia come up on 20% of the United States uranium?
whoa. Well, from what I
And it was the
understand,
Clinton Foundation.
well, I'm unfamiliar with that. I thought that that Putin and Hillary don't like each other.
Oh, they might not, but they like each other's money.
Well, what I've also heard is that Russia is kind of worried about the U.S. right now. Maybe that's why they're trying to buy up their uranium.
Well, the liberals try and take down the United States. They think we have too much, and they want to level the playing field with everybody else. Is what they're doing. That's their beliefs. We're too advanced compared to everybody else, and we have too much, and we're too greedy. But that's their whole philosophy behind it. The whole Russian deal. You have a Canadian uh, company that basically it was a Canadian bank that was backing 20% of our United States Russian or the United States uranium. And what had happened is Hillary had strong armed the bank, forced a sale, which gained um, Russia ended up buying something one. I forget the name of the bank. Something one. So Russia now has control of that bank that has that uranium, and that 20% of that uranium is now going to Russia. Two weeks later, Bill Clinton takes the biggest speaking fee he's ever taken from Russia for $500,000, on top of like a bunch of donations into the Clinton Foundation through these banks from Russia for $2.3 million.
Right.
She's a shady, shady, shady character.
And that's like not even a big one. There's the United Emirates.
Not even a big one.
There's
That's 20% of the
Saudi
United
Prince.
States uranium. That's
No, I'm
nuclear
talking about
grade weapons.
the money for the speech.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm unfamiliar with the 20% thing. Yeah, well, Putin thinks we're getting ready to attack them for some odd reason. That's why he's doing this. We've got. I don't know if you know about these missile silos that or whatever they're called that we set up in Romania. That's supposed to be because of an Iranian nuclear threat, which I don't believe at all. And Putin seems to think that our ballistic missiles or Tomahawk or whatever. Now that they're in Romania, and we're getting better and better, and it's kind of just a delivery system, and they could switch them out with nukes whenever they want. And that, I mean, this is coming from Putin. I watched an interview with him recently, and saying that he came to the table with America to try and stop disarmament. I don't know how much of that I believe, but I don't think he's lying 100% about this kind of stuff. I mean, I think he is really worried about us, which, I mean, a war with Russia is like the last thing that we want right now. We just don't want that. And
We're
that's
always at war
probably,
with Russia. Always. Even when we're not dropping bombs, we're always at war with communism. Always at war with communism. It's failed. It's nasty. We are America, and we fight against that at all costs. Not necessarily with bombs, but we are always at war with Russia. They are the enemy. Putin is the enemy. He's a much stronger leader than Obama, as Trump said, but he's still the damn enemy.
yeah, okay. So, Clinton Foundation, supposed to be nonprofit, supposed to be over there in Haiti doing all kinds of good stuff. I tried to look at some of the good stuff that they were doing, and it was few and far between. If you Google Clinton Foundation, you will be hard pressed to find anything good about it, which is.
The report came out in their 2014. They took in $90 million. I don't know what the exact percentage was from foreign donations, but they were all big, heavy hitting. Most of it was all big, heavy hitting political figures getting backdoor deals. But anyway, they took in $90 million that year. 6.7% went to charity, actual charity. The rest, out of the rest of the 94%, it all went to payroll. It all went to flight expenses. It all went to all these backdoor business stuff like that. It's a money laundering scheme, is what it is. It's a way for them to wash their money.
So, I have a link prepared. If you go to Mercury's Cast on Facebook, please like the page. I have a link that I have posted on there on companies that have donated to the Clinton Foundation, and it's starting to seem like an illegal bank or something. And and this is a part of the problem with Hillary Clinton is that she can be bought, and the Clinton Foundation is a prime example of this. And the good thing about Donald is you can't buy him because he is not a career politician. He hasn't made his killing off of being a politician. He's been a businessman, and whether his business practices are, I guess you could say, ethical, almost nobody that has made as much money as him has been completely 100% ethical the entire time. So Prince of Abu Dhabi, I'm not sure when these years are. This was on a website pretty recently. Prince of Abu Dhabi, $5 million. Algeria, which is why in the hell are we getting money from them? $500,000. Australia, 75 million. That can't be right. Anyways, there's Boeing is on here, 900,000. Confederation of India Industry, at least $1 million. Dominican Republic, 25 million. There's a couple other companies I saw in here that were that was kind of interesting. Ireland.
Well, here's the deal. They're buying access. You got these big companies You got a lot of these foreign donations coming from really, really nasty places. We're talking, like you mentioned, Saudi Arabia. Um, you got Romania. You got a bunch of all kinds of just whatever. I can't name them all off right now. But like that,
Qatar,
yeah,
Rwanda.
yeah, Qatar. Okay, so you get here's what's happening is you have this prince from over there donates his $35 million. What does that $35 million buy him? 20 minutes with Hillary at a sit-down meeting. And basically, what does Hillary do? Absolutely nothing. The guy does what he wants, and he goes in, and Hillary supports this brutal dictator and waves her little wand. Okay, you gave me $35 million to the Clinton Foundation. Yeah, you're a great guy. Blah 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 blah. And he gets away with everything. That's what's happening. They turn their head instead of doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're buying access to get their political movements done.
That's the liberal agenda in today's world. And that's not to say what could be going on that doesn't have to do with the Clinton Foundation, who, you see, like that one article that I posted, all the major players in American business want Hillary to win because they know she can be bought. And not only that, she has been bought for a long time. So if she's not elected, then people that take the positions that she was supposed to get, or for whatever reason, some of this stuff might come out. Anyways, those figures were an over time, I guess, and Walmart's on there too.
Yeah, and
Surprise, surprise.
this is where the Marxism comes in. Now, if you think about it, what's the liberals' number one thing about people that make money? They're greedy. They're rich Republicans. They wanna raise the taxes on the middle class. Oh my God, they're so evil. They're going to throw Granny off the cliff. Um, they want to lower taxes on big rich companies. Blah 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 blah. That's their whole liberal agenda spiel. Stereotypical. Well, I got nothing to offer on the actual success of it, so I'm just going to smear it. That's what they do. Now, if you sit back and think about it, now this liberal agenda and all these taxes and all this stuff has been getting pushed through for 8 years now. With a and you're talking about Hillary Clinton here and the corporations being able to make more money and will buy her out or whatever. So you ask yourself this question: what is the gap between the rich and the poor now today versus before Obama and these liberal agendas been put together? It's the highest it's ever
I think
been.
it's more. I think it's more. And guess what? Race relations couldn't be worse right now. Thank you, Obama, our first black president. Couldn't fix our fucking racial divide in this country. It's actually gotten worse.
That's his intent. But to answer your question, or to answer what I was saying, is it has almost doubled. Doubled. The rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer under liberal policies. But they'll go and they'll smear and they'll say all this stuff about, oh, how great it is. And your point about race relations and this, I still go back to this Marxism. You use class warfare. You stick blacks in a corner. You stick rich in a corner. You stick middle class in the corner. You stick poor in a corner. You use this as a tool, an emotional tool. Oh, they're treating you bad. Oh, they're going to do this to you. Oh, women. Oh, they're going to do this to you. It's called Marxism. That is the tactic they use. They use emotions and pull them out in order for control. And to your point on Obama's doing this stuff, every damn thing somebody gets shot or whatever, the first thing Obama does, oh, racism, oh, racism, oh, the guy has lost every single time he said something like that, and after the facts come out and they go, oh, well, there's still a racial problem. No, there's a bigger racial problem now because you jump to the gun and you do this and you insist there is, when realistically there isn't. The only difference is now today is we have social media. We're not reading it on a newspaper that got here a week later. We see it now. This stuff's been happening forever.
Yeah. It's a very frustrating point right now for anyone that's a clear thinker. And I'm not saying that any Black Lives Matter supporter is dumb. Sometimes their thinking can be clouded by emotions. Moving on to the next couple things about Hillary Clinton
They're
before,
being used as tools. That's what's happening.
right? And the Marxism and divide and conquer. I kind of think there's some of that going on. Globalism. You know,
Oh yeah.
if we were as united as Egypt was when they got or Libya was when they got Gaddafi out of there, or you know, Brazil almost overthrew their shit in a coup. Venezuela tried to. Hillary Clinton stepped in there. I don't know why she's trying to fuck with foreign policy so much. But basically, a nation divided is a nation that that we can't get anything done. And if we're going to stay stuck on a racial war level, then us as Americans will never get anything done when we want to make changes against a government that we don't like.
Right.
Now, you may not, you may think everything's going fine, and that could be up to you. I'm not sure. Well, if I were to say, okay, one thing needs to be changed, I would say that that the police need better training. But let's not go into that. We can save that for another time. Let's stay on the course with Hillary Clinton, and then we're gonna close this out soon. The emails thing. So 3,300 emails. 33 was it 33,000?
33,000.
33,000 private server
That
in
we
her
know
bathroom.
of.
In the bathroom.
Yes.
Another FBI investigation, 250 pages. FBI investigation. A second one on a person that we're trying to elect president. Okay? What now, even if you could just go and then let's just move on to, I don't know how you feel about this. This the theories on the deaths that are involved with these investigations. John Ash, former UN diplomat. First, it was reported he died of a heart attack, and then it was confirmed that he had he had dumbbells dropped on his neck. So maybe he was doing a what's that exercise called? It's escaping me right now. Bench. Jesus.
Yeah.
You'd think I spoke before. So it looks like that one seems funny to me. Conrad Ritchie, Democratic National Committee staff member, supposedly robbery gone wrong, but except they didn't finish robbing him. And he's supposedly going to be a whistleblower for voter fraud. Vince Foster, who was in the inner workings of the Hillary law firm, knew about her financial situations. I guess he was a suicide. No, yeah, I got my notes mixed up here. Arthur Thorne, was critical of the Clintons. He wrote a lot. He wrote books, articles. Another guy named Sean Lucas. These are all. I mean, you can't say they're just directly related, but they're in question. And then even if one of them was done from Hillary Clinton, now we're talking about a presidential candidate who is willing to kill people in order to further her agenda. Any of those names ring a bell to you? Anything that you might want to add? Because I'm pretty sure that you do.
Let's see here. You named what, about 5?
John Ash, yeah. John Ash, Conrad.
Okay, so there's 48 more you didn't name.
I know those were just like the top ones that I'm going for, like
I know, I wasn't expecting to name
famous.
them all.
And these are the recent ones though. These are just like and Bill Clinton was kind of accused of doing the same shit, just killing people, killing
Yeah.
fucking Americans
Well, that
or
WikiLeaks came
whoever
out the
gets in
other
their
day.
way.
The WikiLeaks came out the other day about her seriously wanting to try and figure out a way to drone Assange, or however you say his name, from WikiLeaks.
Yeah, well, I think she should because she has an agenda to keep up. So we need to blow that motherfucker. It's clear to fucking kingdom come.
Yeah, right.
I
Yeah,
mean, it's
people will go nuts, dude. They'll talk about conspiracy theory all day long because it hasn't been proven. If it hasn't been proven, they're gonna say, "Oh, conspiracy, tinfoil hat, tinfoil hat." But they can't see in front of their eyes. There's 53 people that have been directly connected to death that have some kind of connection with the Clintons. And like you just mentioned, those major ones, like that one was a whistleblower. He was getting ready to drop the dime on her, and he ends up dead.
well, the conflicting reports were he was going to be interviewed versus he was going to be an official uh, testimony. But either way, he was getting ready to fucking talk about it.
He was
And
one of the
dude,
guys that probably went in to get immunity and was going to get immunity and probably said, I'm going to talk. I'm not going to go in there and get immunity and plead the fifth.
yeah, and that must have been a hard one to do because that was a big, strong black man. He looked like he could handle himself. I
Yeah.
mean, obviously he worked out. So it just seems like, well, if you're involved in a killing over some people that are going to spew some information, it's probably in your best interest to not spew information about the killing, or else you probably will end up in the same way. That's probably why we haven't heard anything about any of this. One could speculate. But just the same, if even one of these cases are true, even one, and that's who we're going to elect as our president.
Right.
I mean, we're so fucked.
It's a damn shame.
So fucked. Close up quickly with the rape case and how she treats people around her. A lot of people don't know this, but she used to be a private law attorney. And I mean, Darren, do you want to describe the case for the people that might be listening? Because I'm sure you're familiar with it.
Oh, which one?
In
Rape
the
cases
80s, 12-year-old girl.
Oh, I was thinking about Bills and Lewinsky's and Renata Broderick's and all that stuff. Yeah, the little girl that she got off in the rape case. What was his name? Taylor? No, that was the that was the public defender that he had to remove. The last name was Taylor, and requested a female, and she was one of 12 in the country at the time. Female lawyers that she accepted. Yeah, it was on one of your posts the other day where this guy tried telling us she was a public defender. Well, she was not. She was a private lawyer working for a firm who later admitted, or trying to start a firm, who later admitted she took the case for publicity to try and get the firm's name out there for gain, her own personal gain. And then she wins the case, goes through, invites in a child psychologist. The child psychologist makes the assertion that the young girl was 12-year-old, had an obsession with older men and invited it on, that could have possibly invited it on herself. Now, that wasn't directly said, but the man was brought in specifically for that reason, to cast doubt. Took a lie detector test, passed the lie detector test, and she later admitted on a video that she knew, or not necessarily on a video, on tape, that she knew the guy was guilty and was bragging about getting him off from the lie detector test and how she would use a lie detector test every time because there's so many ways around the lie detector test to beat it in a court by stipulation or something to that effect. Nasty, nasty woman. And here she is up here parading about all these women's rights, this, that, and the other. And let alone all the people that she strong-armed for messing around with Bill Clinton, like Bernard Broderick, or what's her name, Broderick, Paula Jones, Lewinsky, all those people. And yet here she is talking about women's rights, all over the women. Yet she's the one doing all the strong arming herself. And as long if it's in her way of political or any kind of gain in her life, she discounts them. She's a liar. She's a phony. She's a fraud.
Yeah, that 12-year-old girl that got raped that day was raped and beaten so bad that she was unable to ever have kids.
Yeah, I read something on that where he just, I don't want to get into too graphic, but being an older male like that just basically tore that poor little girl up.
And for her, and there's audio of this, to say, oh yeah, we got him off. We took a lie detector test, and I'll never trust one of those things again.
Yep.
You know, like just spooky stuff. And here's your Democratic presidential candidate. People and anyone that, if anyone can go through and just piece by piece logically dismiss anything that we've talked about, please do so. Mercury's Cast on Facebook, on Twitter, Instagram. I would love to hear it if there's logical evidence to back it up, but that is a whole lot of small fires to put out. Well, actually, they're not small; they're very big. You know, and from what I hear, how she treats people personally around her, that they kind of don't exist, and she's a bit of a narcissist. So
a bit.
Yeah.
She thinks she is God's gift to the world and thinks everybody else is a peon to her.
Well, that is the front runner right now in the polls. But Donald Trump, after the debate kind of is catching up on her, it's almost like, and all right, first of all, I'll ask you, how much do you trust these polls? And do you think there's going to be a 50-50 showing up somewhere anytime soon?
There's a 44-44 right now.
Really? Okay. Well, that's basically 50-50 then.
Tonight, actually, he caught up with her and has officially tied it, which I'm kind of surprised about. I think, and I don't know. I'm still waiting. It took me about a week from the actual presidential debate for waiting for those to kick in. So, and I don't think that Pence's debate last night would have made an adjustment that quick, but that poll just came out today. And right now it's 44-44 nationally, from what I understand. And do I trust the polls? To an extent. I trust them to what they have with registered voters and expected voters. You got to put the expected in quotations as well, because a lot of these sampling and stuff, like CNN, they'll oversample by 11%. And you say, oh yeah, it's 44%. So if you oversample by 11% Democrats, and right now you have it tied, that tells me Donald Trump's probably got a little bit of an edge there. The other thing is, I think there's a lot of pissed off people sleeping in the background that have not voted and are going to show up on the day. And Trump's, I think we might be in for a surprise here. I mean, honestly, if you go straight by the polls and what, your typical patterns, Hillary Clinton would probably win under normal situations. But this is not a normal situation election. This isn't an Obama Romney. This isn't a McCain Obama. This is the weirdest damn election I've ever seen. And Trump, I don't know what to think of the guy. You just can't take him down. The guy bounces back every damn time.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy, and the thing about it is a lot of the anti-Trump, the Trump haters. You know, how many of them are going to make their way to the voting booth? I bet
None.
you the younger Trump supporters make their way to the voting booth compared to some of the Black Lives Matter supporters. That's just a theory of mine. No way to base it off of any solid evidence, but I just have a feeling. So we could see a late push from the younger group. You know, if they want to make a difference, then get out there and vote, and we'll find out in November, right?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a low turnout on both sides. But
Yeah.
I don't know how to. I don't know how to go by these polls. I mean, the polls. Everybody thought the polls last time were jacked up, and it turns out they were pretty damn accurate. And right now we're seeing these polls, and Trump's slowly been coming up, coming up, coming up, coming up, coming up. Not a huge momentum, but he's slowly been rolling. For a non-politician, he's doing damn well, and I think he may be ahead, just because of the fact that there's so much anger in this country right now. People want change because people aren't stupid. They know Hillary Clinton. The people voting for Hillary Clinton are the die-hard liberals. That's all she's got, really. I mean, there's a couple of there'll be the guys that go in there and follow the party and check the boxes for the party. But realistically, most people are looking at this election right now going, "Fuck, this is disgusting," and they're not even going to show up. Um, and I have a feeling that the folks that are upset with the way this country has been going far outnumbers the people that are saying, "Yeah, everything's going great right now." And I think there's going to be a lot of people that show up that they're not anticipating on showing up, and that's going to give Trump the edge. But I could be dead wrong, dude. I'm not in the polls, I'm not in the predictions, just that and the other. But there's definitely something different, out of the norm for this particular election than there are the typical American election.
No, I totally agree. I've never seen a group of people more demonized than the Trump supporters, and I've never seen a group of people more naive than Clinton supporters. And it's a line has been drawn in the sand, and you're on one side or the other. And if you're on the opposing side, then you're an idiot. You don't know what's right, and
Yeah, pretty much.
America's going to fail because of you. You
Yeah.
know.
Here's the one thought that I have that a lot. Well, I wouldn't say a lot, but one thought I firmly believe in is one, the Constitution. I said one thought. Here's my way of thinking. It's several combined into one. The Constitution, the Supreme Court justices, the American people, and their strive over the years of freedom and liberty have always prevailed. And we know ultimately right now, as far as those things together, I'm pretty sure Trump's going to pull those votes. People know what's happening to him. I mean, you got all these people up around on doing a protest on the news and yada. The people at home that are going to go out and vote, me, you, are looking at their paychecks going, this is fucked up.
And what percentage of people are there out there that are just too scared to admit that either one, they're never Hillary, or two, that they actually support Donald Trump?
Oh, a
Because
shit ton.
in doing so, you will be crucified, especially in California. Maybe not in your job situation, because I happen to have been on a couple companies in the line of work that you do, and they're all good old boys. Let me tell you that much. And in good company, I guess. But um, how many people are scared to admit it that
Oh, a ton.
they're going to vote for Donald Trump?
Yeah, there a ton. I get it all the time. As soon as I'm not even a Trump supporter, but I'm a
Right.
conservative, and and I will call out Trump, no problem, on specific issues, and I have fun with the libs this way because they're just going, oh, he says mean things. He's not warm and fuzzy. I'm like, dude, that's all you got? I could tell you right now how to destroy Donald Trump, and I'm not going to tell you. I'm a conservative. I'll give you that hint.
Yeah, they're
You
going
know,
about it the wrong way.
yeah, for sure. And um, and they come at me, oh, you're just freaking Trump supporting redneck, and I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. And that's the first things out of their mouth, and I automatically know I'm dealing with an idiot.
Yeah,
And my
yeah.
response is always simply, I'm not voting for Trump. I'm voting against Hillary. And these people, as soon as you say, and then they, oh, you're a Republican that supports Trump. No, I'm not even close to a Republican, man. I freaking don't like Republicans.
Republicans are pussies.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, any of the, well, I wouldn't say I don't like Republicans. I don't like the Republicans in office because they're not Republicans. They're
You know,
freaking
I think
rhinos.
I think for the better of the party, they just need to change the name, change a couple things about it. It just throw the whole Republican name out the window because it is no longer respected at all.
Well, and the reason is because they're all rhinos. They're not Republicans.
Yeah,
Republicans
they're
is
centrist.
Reagan.
They're centrist.
Republicans is Reagan. What you're seeing right now is almost Democrats out of today's Republicans. Today's
Right.
Republicans would be like a JFK Democrat. Today's Democrats are like a full-on leftist. Holy shit, freaking.
And Hillary's not even a leftist. She's a centrist too, just like Trump. They're both kind of centrist, just
Uh,
slightly.
I'm going to disagree with you on the Hillary part. I think Donald Trump is for sure, but I think
Are,
Hillary is just a full-on left
wh-
communist whack job.
how far is Hillary separated from Bernie then?
Not very,
Really?
not very,
Huh? I
not at
tend to
all.
think differently. All right. Well, we are. Let's just talk about North Korea real quick and then get the hell out of here because
North Korea.
I got it. We got to do that. So North Korea accidentally lets the world access its internet. Something happened, and it only has 28 websites. We'll read a quick article here. The secretive state somehow accidentally opened access to all the websites hosted on its servers, revealing that it only has 28 registered domains. On Monday around 10 p.m. Pacific time, North Korea's name server that contains information of all the KP website .kp is their websites was misconfigured, allowing it to be accessed. This meant Matthew Bryant, a researcher, was able to access the domain names to file data about the website. So we know that North Korea is shut off to the rest of the world, and they only have 28 allowable websites. I'll continue on. Bryant dumped all of this on GitHub, a site that hosts computer code. It's the first real look into the secret online world of the hermit state, North Korea. Some of the websites take a long time to load, and some are inaccessible. Among the 28 sites listed is one called Air Koryo, a flight booking site, and one named Friend, presumably some sort of social network. So yeah, that's just a brief look into another crazy aspect of what is North Korea. China has restricted websites too.
Oh
Um,
yeah, they're communists. They control everything. They control what you can read, what you can think. They're all propagandists. But they only have 28.
28 registered domains that you are
That wouldn't
able to
surprise me at
access.
all. That wouldn't surprise me at all, man. Because yeah, hey, we're going to give you the internet, but you're only going to see the internet we want you to see, and what you're only going to read what we want you to read, and what we put out for you through these 28 things to make it seem like, yeah, we're not brainwashing you.
Yeah, I guess the next question is how many routers do they have in the whole entire country?
Shit,
Probably not many, right?
no, not me at all.
All right. Well, I think we've covered enough ground here. Um, I do want to get more into some Black Lives Matter stuff maybe next time, and some more WikiLeaks stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll give a shout out to anyone that listened to the Mars episode that seems to be growing in France and Ireland for some odd reason. Um, if you listen to this one, thank you. Darren, thanks for coming back on, buddy. It's been great. I'd love to do it again.
Yeah,
Soon.
I'm into it. I'll come on. I got time and stuff like that, which is usually during the week, in the middle of the week.
Yeah, well, I live in Bakersfield, so I got a lot of time.
Right.
And, okay, so this has been Mercury's Cast 26, and have a good one, everyone.